And there we go. So like I mentioned, Mario Merz from Germany will be taking on Serge van Kauffenberg from Luxembourg. Now interesting, most of the time in straight pool, whenever they win the leg, they most often choose not to break off themselves. So compared to 9 and 10 ball, that's of course very different. So the shot he's going to play is clipping the 2 ball. Could play with just high ball directly to the short rail on the newer equipment. And I'm thinking they might have put new cloth on the tables for the European Championships. Of course, we also had the Predator Dutch Open in the same location, so I have to say, well, the cloth on the other side, it looks like they have slight break spots, so it's not new cloth, but still looking quite fresh. In the background I do see a lot of orange, but I will get to the other live scores during this match. And the first opportunity for Serge to make a long 14 and get possibly on the 6-3 or the 2 ball. Yeah, so focused on pocketing, or so focused on running the cue ball into that small cluster under the stack that he hung the 2 ball. Now, Germany, probably one of the strongest countries to play straight pool. The game of straight pool is very regular over there, so I have to say I'm expecting quite a quality match for Mario, and I wonder if Serge can stick with it for this match. I mean, I know Luxembourg not one of the strongest nations, plus I'm not sure how much straight pool they play over there. Obviously, the more you play this beautiful discipline, the better you're at it. That's the usual. Big draw stroke to try and get on the 2 ball. Did he get far enough? He might still have to play the combination. Now straight pool, of course, a much more aggressive game, I would say, than for example 10 ball, because in the end it's the one that makes the most balls wins. So definitely had to take on that combination. And now can he run into the stack? A little bit awkward queuing though. Definitely the 13 makes it really tough to still get to the bottom left spin. Yeah, that did not open up great yet, so we'll have to run into the stack once again. Probably shoot the 8 first, leave angle on the 13, and then try to split it nicely. Yeah, and also the shape wasn't there, caught it quite thick. Don't forget, for most of these players, this is the first day they've been playing here, so the equipment, every time they play with the spin, it just bends slightly more into the ball. So that shot was a lot easier to miss on the thick side. Nice split, but has pushed the one ball all the way down table, so we'll have to travel a bit to get there. And also, as you can see, the pink 4 does not go to the top left. So that means he's going to pocket the 10, get on the 9, and then it will be it will always be difficult to get from the 11, for example, to the 1 with where the 4 ball is. So I'd rather go to the 1, then drop back up table for the 11. Then you're at least near the break shot. Yeah, I would definitely say straight pull one of the specialty disciplines nowadays. I mean, not a game that we have seen for quite some time. I think maybe 3 times a year in Europe. Something big happens with straight pull. Don't think we still have the American straight pull championships, of course. And then the International Open nowadays runs one, but I think, well, I don't even think we will get to 10 events a year for the pro players to play straight pull. So most of them, they don't really put any time in it. And it's a game you really have to put some time in. Yeah, probably a little bit afraid to catch the 4 first. So back and forth start between the two of them. 7-6 now in points. And look at that speed. Perfect on the break shot. Well, nice split. Did have the 6 ball after. Now we'll have to play the 8. Does he run forward, slightly bump into the 5 to always have the 15? Or is he going to run into the 3 ball? Is he going for a more aggressive split? Ah, there was a window for the 3 ball. Has to keep the game simple, of course. Just picked something up out of the pocket there. Not exactly sure what that was, but as long as the table is still standing and it's not suddenly breaking down, I guess everything is fine. Beautiful Predator Arc table. Currently in display in a lot of tournaments. All the Pro Billiard Series events are using the Predator Arc table. Just seen, of course, Ko Ping Chung winning the World 10 Ball Championship, like, is it 3 days ago? 2 days, 3 days ago. That was a great display. Not that it really matters for Ko Ping Chung, for example, what table he plays on. I think he plays the game perfect on so many different kinds of tables. But just happy to see that the Arc table is proving to be on the top of the league in the tables division. Now, of course, we're gonna have 8 days in the European Championships. We will have a 45 plus group and a 55 plus age category. Oh, I think he took his eye off the shot there. And then we will have the ladies at the same time. And everything has 4 disciplines plus the teams. So we've got so many great events coming still the coming 8 days. Then following with the World 8 Ball Championship in Indonesia with the mixed doubles and the Women's Open. So definitely stay tuned at the ProBilliardTV channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. I would say if you're a real pool fan, you would not want to miss any of those events. So now opportunity for Serge. Feel like both players have to still find some rhythm yet. Maybe losing the cue ball slightly, maybe just with spin it's reacting slightly different. Of course, this is not your usual club table you get used to. Well, I definitely would love to see Efren in this kind of tournament, but this is only for European players, this one. Not the World 8 Ball and all the events we've had in Vietnam or coming up in Indonesia, but this one is mainly for the European players. I do believe the winner of, it might be the European Championship 9 Ball or 10 Ball, used to get a ticket for the World 9 Ball Championship or World 10 Ball Championship. So I have to say, quite something at stake in this tournament. I mean, how cool would it be to name yourself a European champion plus being invited for a World Championship because of that? I don't think it gets any better. So, pretty close match so far. Both players not managing yet to really get going. As you see, this is a long break shot though. Does have a nice angle. I would say not pocket. Don't pocket the ball extremely firm, you know, just quite solid speed would work on this 7 ball. Don't play with the scratch. And make sure to check where it's going to run into the stack. I mean, if it's gonna catch the bottom of the 5, the cue ball might scratch in the corner, so you want to stop the cue ball from going that way. This is only for European players, so every country gets a couple spots, and sometimes even if a country has more players that want to play, they have to request for more spots if it's possible to enter with more players. But it's mainly for European players. Or, well, not only mainly, it is just European players. This is the European Pool Championships, seniors and ladies. Oh, good shot there. Definitely has a couple balls now to continue the run. There's always still the cluster, but there's some ways to make things happen. Not sure if the 5 ball goes, that would be a nice shot to run into the stack. The 8 is not going to do much damage to the stack because it's gonna run into the 2. The 2 ball might bump maybe the 15-3 open, but it's kind of limited in opening up the balls. Now let me see, let me pull up the live scores to see if we have more interesting matches. This is the first round, so players obviously want to start off strong, get confidence in their game. And that miss was a little bit surprising. This is a match in the 45 plus category. We have 2 categories, 45 plus and 55 plus. Now, what I find interesting, I've seen on the list 2 Finnish players playing against each other. Sami Kartunen, I believe I've heard that name before. Pretty good player. He's up against Janne Huttinen, so 2 Finns in the first round. It's always tough to play against, well, someone from your own country. You're playing the European Championships and you meet someone from your own country. Is kind of brutal. Just like in the 55 plus category, we have Jacco Wieringa and Martijn Wonings, 2 Dutchmen facing each other. Then also in the 55 plus, Tomasz Malinowski and Michal Smorzinski, 2 Poles against each other. So it's always interesting to see the draw happen like that. If you want more information, make sure to check out epbf.com. All the information is there about the Euro Tour, the European Championships, also Hayball, because the IBPF does run, I believe, the European Open and the European Championships Hayball. So all the information is on epbf.com. Now, let's see. It does have the angle to open up the cluster. The biggest problem is that 12 ball was pretty alright as a break shot. So we'll have to open up this cluster and possibly have something for a break shot. That 9 could work. The 13-5 really did not open up that much. Yeah, after opening that cluster, did have to take on a more difficult 3 ball. Could have done maybe with a slightly more solid stroke, just stunning the cue ball into the 6. Yeah, chose to play the 9 to open up those 2 balls. That was a possible break ball, so yeah, now has to improvise a bit. Could still use the 6 for the break shot. But of course, playing the 6 to the sides, you have to get on the right side of the ball. It's a little bit sensitive always on the speed side of the shot. And it's very easy to run too far. Does have a break shot, but not an easy one at all. Well, it did look like he could have maybe played the cue ball 2 rails into the bottom side of the stack, but Mario choosing to play the safety into the 7, putting the 5 in front of the corner. Yeah, in general, that 7 ball popping out could mean you wrecked the balls, not so great for yourself, or could mean you did not catch the ball full in the face, so it got a little bit of room to go out. Of course, pretty alright safety. Soft stop shot into the 8. And actually putting the 7 ball back there makes the shot a lot tougher, because Mario can only play the cue ball to the bottom side of the table now. I don't think there is a slight piqué or massé to nick the 7 to the rail. Going to play intentional foul, or... Well, not sure if I mentioned this. Straight pull is a call shot game, And if the pocket drops in a different... If the ball drops in a different pocket, it means the ball will be respotted in the same line as the spot itself. So if the spot is not available, you just drop down basically. Now in straight pull, it's interesting. There's two different types of safeties. Of course, there's the one where you put the cue ball frozen to a ball, but sometimes to put the cue ball frozen to the rail really locks someone up. But you gotta make sure if you do that to not leave a combination in the stack, and of course to find the only area on the table where you do not give an open shot. Well, with the 5 ball in front of the corner and now the 4 ball pretty much in front of the corner, I don't think there is a position where you're not gonna sell out. Score is still pretty close, 23-21. Yeah, not sure if he actually hit the 14 there. I think it did. As you see, they're not putting any minus point. Oh, no, that was the minus point. So he did miss the 14. And actually, he could have played the intentional foul. Now, actually, it was the unintentional foul. Was not trying to play the cue ball to this position, but it's not a horrible leave. Things could be very much worse. But he does make the over the 7-8 queuing shot on the 4. Oh, yeah, I'm not. Oh, well, I kind of like the fact that he tried to do something. But I probably would have liked to maybe play an angle on the 10 to open up the cluster. Just think that was a very difficult shot to play the stack in. To open up the stack. Yeah, it didn't look to be on from this angle, but maybe he was trying to spin the ball a bit over with left spin. Match really not been going yet. I feel like for both players, the rack has not been opening up so nicely and difficult to catch a bit of rhythm. Yeah, then again, did have a nice angle on the 8 to actually run into the stack, but chose to play the shape near the stack on the 10 possibly, or does he have the 15? If he can, I would like to play the 15 and bump into the 13. Just like a pretty firm draw. Always gonna have the 10. Going forward, I was not sure if he was gonna have something after. Has he called something aggressive? I would not assume so. No, he played the safety. Maybe called the 11 just in case, but would not have had a shot if he had made it. So maybe this is an even better result for him. Not exactly sure what Serge was pointing out there. But I do believe there is a referee doing the scoring. Yeah, so far this match looking to become a true battle in the winners round 1. Think this might be their first round match. Sometimes if the field is not exactly full, or if maybe there was a walkover, then there's no first round. No, there was actually a first round. Maybe not for these two players. No, not for these two players, but there was a first round. Couple interesting names that played earlier this morning is former medalist Kim uit de Boogaard from the Netherlands. For the Netherlands in general, I mean, a couple good players. Giuliano Smit, Joris van Amersfoort, one of our co-commentators, just taking time off to play in the European Pool Championships. Riccardo Cini, strong Italian player. In the meantime, Serge is having a little bit of a run at the table. If he can nudge the one ball out of the rack slightly, I think he's most likely to be on the 13, and he has done that very nicely. Such a good effort to bring the one ball out of the stack, but he's played the 13 quite soft. Of course, low left could have worked, could have also played with top right to go 3 rails around the one. Maybe easier on the speed, but for now, I guess we will have to see a safety on this one ball. Cannot imagine him shooting this off the stack in the corner. Well, has to be careful. He might have left the one ball on there. That would be disastrous. Perfect angle to open up the cluster too. One good shot. It's a pretty big cut though. Is he going aggressive? Looks like it. Well, of course, every shot is important, just as that 10 ball. But Mario did open up the full cluster, missing that break shot, and that really shows me that both players are really not playing their best game at the moment. Well, now stop shot on the 1, stop shot on the 14 to have an angle on the 2 to maybe play low left into the cluster, and who just barely made the 1 ball, almost hung up. The only tricky part is using the 2 ball to open up the cluster is that he does not have any insurance shots. So the 13, I don't think he will be able to get on the 13. So has to run into the stack firm enough to hopefully get something. In the background you see a multiple European champion, Rainer Wierzbicki. He will be gunning. He will be looking at another title this week. Definitely in the straight pool. I mean, like I mentioned, the Germans just in general play so much straight pool that, well, you would almost say they're the favorite. He's playing in the 55 plus category alongside with other champions like Martin Steinlager, great player. Henrik Correa also now playing against Martin Steinlager. That is a cracker of a match. Great cueists. Obviously there is a lot more great players, but not easy to go over them all, of course. And just as I said that, Mario missing that 3 ball, and it's just funny how they keep taking a slight lead, and in the end we see them being even all the time. Oh, for a second looked to be safe. Does he still have the 6 ball on? Technically only a race to 44 points from here. It's a race to 75. We're tied at 31. And I think we're gonna see quite the dramatic finish to this match near the end. Because I think they both are gonna realize that after such a big grind, they are getting closer to the finish line. Oh, that was a nice shot. Nice split from Van Kauvenberg. And has a couple break shots available to continue the run. Could have the 12 or the 3 ball. 12 in general, the most preferred break shot out there. Let's see what the plan is. I think he was looking to play the 4-5-8-6 to the 12, but lost the cue ball a bit. No, he's playing the 6 in the side. Okay, and is he going to use the 5 to get to the 12? Doesn't matter that much in the end. Has to make the ball, and I feel like he took that 6 ball slightly for granted. Oh, not out of the woods yet. Has to cut the 8. Is he going to spin the cue ball? Stun left to make it short. No, he was choosing to run into the 5 and he's missed the 8 ball as well. We've seen quite a lot of shots being missed to the side pocket in the World 10 Ball Championship. This is the same exact table. Well, not the exactly the same because that's not possible. That one is in Vietnam, but the same Predator Arc table model. Yeah, missed the 12, even though I think both players not happy that the 12 is being moved. No real break shot available now. Gotta say, nice cut on the 5 ball and left himself a good angle on this 12. But the biggest problem is the cue ball is most likely going to run off the stack into the kitchen, into the bottom side of the table, unless he catches the top side of the 4 ball. But nonetheless, a bit of a wild cue ball probably. Yeah, not ideal by any means. Not enough right spin on the cue ball. Slid underneath. And it's now stuck with the back. So back to safeties. Score now, well, not even surprised. 36-34. This is really starting to go equally to the 75 mark. So as you're going for the risky cut, the whole stack is probably going to open up. Well, he did play a good cut there, but it's landed a little bit unfortunate not to get much. So is he going to play another safety in between the 3 and the 15? Or the cue ball back to the short rail? Might be just enough. Yeah, I have to say, difficult position to be in. With quite a couple of options available overall on the table. It's easy to sell out. I think he's played a good cue ball. The biggest risk is the fact that you are always going to sell out something. The 8 does go, the 5 does go. But at least he took care of the widey. Well, let's see what he has. 7 ball could work as a break shot. But actually I'm thinking a little bit that both players are really not looking that much at the pattern. They're just trying to play themselves a bit in the match because they've been struggling, like I mentioned a couple times, and there's nothing worse than you maybe preparing a couple weeks for that big tournament, in this case European Championship. Every year, whatever category is a big tournament, is a big thing, and you show up and you just feel like, oh, my cueing is off, or oh, I'm not striking the ball as good as I usually do. And that's where most of the time you go so downhill. So maybe it's better to play this just ball per ball. Get points on the board. I mean, it's a race to 75. If you run a couple 15s, you could win the match. You don't need a high run. If you play race to 200, you need a couple runs, like 50s, maybe 100s, you know, to win. You don't really need to finish 75 out, or not in this stage of the tournament yet. Yeah, nice on the 5 to run to the 10. Just wondering, I think that 3 ball was laying, well, either on the edge or just inside the rack. So that means if you leave the 3 ball near the end, it might just join the rack and you cannot continue the run. Slightly starting to get the advantage here. Serge van Kouwenberg now on 45. Could get exactly a 15-point lead in this match if he runs the next 3 balls. Yeah, not sure whether it made sense to play the 3 and nudge the 9. Like I mentioned, if the cue ball is in the rack and the 3 ball is in the rack, the object ball gets racked with the other 14. Now, of course, he still has the shot on the bottom side of the table. That's what happens if the ball is laying in the rack. But most of the time, players are not going so aggressive on this kind of break shot. Just so difficult to cut the 9 in and open up the cluster. Will be interesting to see what he does. Maybe overcut the 9, play safe, roll on top of the 13. Because that 9 does give quite some pressure to play safe somewhere. Yeah, probably sacrificed a bit on going aggressive on that 9 ball just to make sure he would hit the stack. did only catch the point, so not too many balls that have opened up. Then again, the angle he has now on the 1, Mario, I don't think it works to open up the cluster. Well, a little bit of a funny thing that happened there, catching the bottom of the 4. The 4 opening the stack just a slight bit. Of course, this is still the early stages of this tournament. I'm sure when we get a little bit further in the tournament, the quality of play will be a lot better. The players get more in stroke. They will start to feel the table better. The better players also come out on top. So all the ingredients to see some high runs in the straight pool division. .11 difference. Oh, that's going to leak the 10. In the meantime, let's have a little look at the other tables, the other scores. Jacco Wieringa, Martijn Wonings, 2 Dutch players. Martijn Wonings now up 75-40. Andrea Grosso up 1 rack, 46-32 against Adrian Ebersold from Switzerland. Quite a lot of matches going on, so I'm just trying to pick the interesting ones. Tomasz Malinowski, the Pole, 73-11 against Michał Smorzinski. Also a quite solid player from Germany, Markus Kamui, is up 60-22 against Michael Hetter. And Martin Steinlager now slightly bit more of a lead against Henrique Correa, multiple European champion seniors from Portugal. 75 against 39 points for Correa. And another chance for Serge, who's now past the 50 points with pretty alright layout. This is quite open. Not ideal again, like there's no break shot yet, and most of the balls go to the top right corner for our view in this match so far. If you look at the table, the top right corner, that's where the 2 and the 3 ball will go, and the 6 possibly. Well, did get nicely to this side of the 2-3-6. And has bumped the 13 in a nice position to be able to open up the stack in the next rack. But what's the plan with the 6 and the 14? I would say the 6 goes to the top right. So in that case, you could play shape from the 12, from the 2 to the 6, excuse me. The 12 would be quite challenging to get to the 6 ball. I mean, he could actually now go 3 rails to the left side of the 6. I would really like to stay away from the 13. It's the one I would like to keep till the end of the rack. Not exactly sure. The problem is here. I think Mario is saying he's seen a shirt foul. Yeah, and I also, of course, the referee is there only to do the shot clock and to do the scoring. I think the points. I think the referee is only doing those things, so maybe Mario was telling the referee, like, come on, you're a referee, you should be able to see that. But you cannot do 27 things at the same time. I'm assuming that was the problem. And I do believe in case of doubt, that means the shooter continues. Of course, there is always something to say about this rule. But imagine if someone would call it and the guy is wrong, but he should continue. In that case, a lot of people are gonna call a bunch of fouls. So there's 2 ways of it. Serge now on 59 and a nice angle on the break shot. Slowly running away with the match. Only 16 points away. Yeah, winner of this match goes to the winner's qualification round. Winner's qualification round. The round to qualify for the last 32 single elimination. I tend to say that's where... Well, that's where the tournament really starts. I think it's a little bit interesting, actually. So Mario is taking a timeout on Serge's break, while he's still in the run in his break, and I'm just not sure. I thought in general Serge was still allowed to continue with the referee watching the run still, but it could also be that Serge is just choosing to take the break himself, just to relax a bit. like I mentioned, this is a big chance. I mean, 22 points ahead. Nice break shot. Needs only 16. If he makes 13 and he opens the stack nicely, if he runs out this rack, he only needs one more point. So it'll be interesting to see how this match evolves. Oh, what a good shot he's played there. Cue ball was stuck in the stack, but the 5 ball popped up nicely. So now, how will he be able to continue the run? I think the easiest way is to play the 5, play shape on the 11. And then possibly use the 15 to open these 6 balls next to the cue ball. Well, he doesn't have to go aggressive and running into the balls. He could still tap this in. He still has other options, but played it very nicely. He's on the 4. 7, always nice for a backup in the side pocket. Does have 2, maybe 3 break shot opportunities. The 8, the 10 or the 1. This is starting to be the opportunity to close out the match. Like I mentioned, they really started off slow and a bit scrappy, but it's just waiting for one to catch the feel for the table, catch their own rhythm. And like I mentioned, playing straight pool with the shot clock. I mentioned the shot clock was on. Playing straight pool with the shot clock is pretty difficult because you have less time to judge the cannons, to judge the bumps here and there. Oh! How could he have missed that thick? Was he trying to hold the cue ball a bit? It's a little bit of a mistake. And he is letting Mario back at the table. Needs a somewhat bigger run though. I mean, the difference now, 28 points. Close to 2 racks. Does get a really nice layout though. Really doesn't have to do too much traveling with the cue ball. Still has the option, either the 8 or the 10 for a break shot. I would say take the 10. Slightly more angle on this, so I have to play a good shot to stay close to the 10, and I think he's played it nicely. A slight angle on the 10 ball. So, trailing 20 points, Mario. Important shot coming up to reduce that deficit. Yeah, very nicely done. Cue ball straight off the stack. Yeah, does find himself in a bit of trouble. Now having to shoot the 6. Nice shot though, I had to be careful for the double hit. Striking the cue ball twice, obviously a foul. Yeah, still some work to do with the 8-5-1. So he's now looking to play 13, 15, and possibly the 8, but don't think the 5 ball goes first. Could shoot the 5 ball before the 8 to open up that little bit of a cluster. And then also only the 4 goes to the top right because it's blocked by the 11. So some work to do. It does manage nicely. It's kind of interesting how he took a break and now it's looking a lot more solid than before he took that timeout. Well, that did not work out, did not nudge a nice break shot out of the rack, and his only shot might be a difficult cut on the 1, a difficult cut on the 7, or a cross-side bank on the 7, but definitely not an easy shot. This is. That's why he's chosen to play safe. That is going to make this match a lot tighter. 8-point difference. Sergio needs 10. Mario needs 18. Could be having a very close one towards the end. It's gonna bring a lot of nerves too. Nice spot. He looks to be going aggressive on this 1-5 combination. This is quite difficult. Very easily missed. Well, difficult, very difficult break shot this is. If you consider the fact that the cue ball is pretty close to the rail. Just a small angle on the one ball. And it will have to track quite a lot of distance to open up the stack. Well, he needs 6 balls, and that 2 ball might be just outside of the stack, but he might not be able to play what I believe is the 11 ball on top of it. Oh, he is able. No. So that means it's going to be spotted on the other side of the table on the spot. Big angle has left himself quite the cut. I'm not sure if he's going to play aggressive on it. Well, he did still play that cut. Well, I have to play safe though. Did not manage to open up the stack, but now a slight advantage. 6 points up. Yeah, this is huge. Does that 11 ball go? I think it does. This would be a nerve-wracking ending if he runs 9 out here. Might be frozen too much on the 14. Yeah, he did touch the 14 first, and look at the opportunity he's just given Mario. Probably the shot clock pushed him into playing that a little quicker. Did not have the time to check it. If it did go yes or no. Now the chance to close it out. 3 balls for Mario Mertz. Mario Mertz to get to the winner's qualification round. Yeah, this is the winning shot. Mario Mertz looking to survive a scare. This 6 ball for the win. And it does go in. So it's Mario who advances to the next round. And Sergio will have to try his luck through the one lost side. Still has a chance to get into the final 32 single elimination stage, but the longer route. So thanks everyone for tuning in at ProBilliardTV. This is the Predator European Pool Championships. Tim de Ruyter signing off for now, but we will be live in an hour and a half, just around that time. So I would love to see you back at 5 p.m. See you in a bit.
mit dem Tempo. Mit dem Tempo gar nicht mal gelöchert, sondern mit dem Tempo. Und so ein bisschen Unsicherheit mit dem Tempo. Und ja, aber jetzt am Ende war es.
Ja. Ich war raus.